Solemnly swear or affirm that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which you are about to enter, so help you God.
I do.
Congratulations, you're now a member of the 119th Congress.
It has been 50 days since the people of Arizona's 7th Congressional District elected me to represent them. 50 days that over 800,000 Arizonans have been left without access to the basic services that every constituent deserves. This is an abuse of power. One individual should not be able to unilaterally obstruct the swearing in of a duly elected member of Congress for political reasons.
So with all of that, I just want to tell you the country has never been in better shape. We went through this short-term disaster with the Democrats because they thought it would be good politically. And it's an honor now to sign this incredible bill and get our country working again. Thank you.
We have some major news right now. Overnight, House Republicans voted on key amendments that they don't want you to know about, so I need your help to spread the word. The first was an amendment proposed by Democrats to divert $40 billion in funds from Argentina to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits for a period of 2 years. Republicans voted no, instead deciding to send that money to Argentina. The second amendment proposed by Democrats was to eliminate a provision in the bill to reopen the government that would allow Republican senators who had their phones seized by Jack Smith to sue and get $500,000 for each violation of your taxpayer dollars. Republicans voted against removing that provision from the legislation. The third was proposed by Congresswoman Yasmin Ansari to essentially ensure that taxpayers are never on the hook for the $350 million ballroom. Republicans voted down that amendment as well. Lots of stuff happened overnight while you were asleep, and probably that was intentional so you wouldn't know what actually happened. That's why I'm making sure that you know all the information, so spread the word. Full updates on my Substack, linked in bio, subscribe for free.
I had to step outside the House floor. The Senate budget bill that we're debating now has a corrupt provision which allows $500,000 payday for 8 senators who were investigated for their role in Trump's efforts to subvert the results of the 2020 presidential election. Senate Republicans snuck this provision into the bill. The provision, which is retroactive to 2022, allows any, quote, U.S. senator, end quote, not any citizen, mind you, not even any member of Congress, but, quote, any senator, U.S. senator, to receive $500,000 from the taxpayers if the Department of Justice subpoenas their phone records without giving them notice. And then, to add insult to injury, an extra $500,000 if DOJ seeks a lawful non-disclosure order from a federal judge. Now, who are these 8 senators that will benefit from this corrupt provision? Senator Lindsey Graham, Senator Marsha Blackburn, Bill Hagerty, Josh Hawley, Dan Sullivan, Ron Johnson, Cynthia Lummis, and yes, our very own Tommy Tuberville. No matter what you think about the rest of this spending bill, I think we can all agree that this is unacceptable, to be snuck into a spending bill that reopens government, a provision as corrupt as this. Why would we vote for a bill that has this provision in it? And according to many, it was snuck in by none other than Senate Leader Thune. This is corruption in plain sight, and we should not take it. I'm voting no, but I'm really voting hell no now.
The lady from New York is recognized for 1 minute. It is great. It is great that Democrats have a line of people who are willing to fight for working class Americans from coast to coast in this country, because God forbid that we have a member of the Republican caucus who stands up and actually wants to extend the Affordable Care Act so that people with cancer, insulin, and issues across all sorts of healthcare issues across this country have their health insurance protected and extended throughout 2026. It is unconscionable that what we are debating right now is legislation that will give 8 members of the United States Senate over $1 million apiece. And we are robbing people of their food assistance and of their health care to pay for it. How is this even on the floor? How can we, as members of Congress, Republican or Democrat, vote to enrich ourselves by stealing from the American people? That is what this legislation does. In fact, Senator Graham just went before the press earlier today saying he was going to seek well over $1 million from the American people from this. We cannot support it, and we cannot stand for it. Thank you.
And I want to use this opportunity to talk about a last-minute provision that was slipped into the CR in the Senate. It's an outrageous giveaway to pad the pockets of 8 Republican senators. And it's one of the most corrupt things I've seen in my life.
Breaking news, CNN has learned there will be a meeting today inside the White House as aides try to manage a potential House vote on the release of the Epstein files. This comes, of course, just hours after Democrats on the Oversight Committee released emails from Jeffrey Epstein himself mentioning Donald Trump by name multiple times. I want to get straight to CNN's Caitlin Polance. Caitlin, what are you learning?
Well, the House is releasing these files, but it's not everything that the federal government has. Dana, there's additional files still held by the Justice Department that some Republicans on Capitol Hill are in support of releasing. And so that is causing a political response inside the White House right now, where there is a meeting planned, or was a meeting planned today, about the House effort to try and force a vote to get the Justice Department, the Trump administration, to release the rest of the FBI files, the Justice Department files, everything from years of the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein and others, things that have not seen the light of day yet. What one source tells me, we have multiple sources confirming that this meeting is happening, but what one source tells me is that this meeting was planning to include some key figures from the Justice Department: the FBI Director Kash Patel, the Attorney General Pam Bondi, the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, and then one of those Republicans in support of transparency, Republican Representative Lauren Boebert of Colorado. So what might happen at this meeting if Boebert could be swayed in a different direction on wanting transparency here? That is all something that is going to be at issue, and that the White House is clearly concerned about, having discussions about it. On top of that, Dana, another thing to remember here is that the Justice Department has tried many different ways to distract from releasing the full Justice Department files. They tried to get grand jury records out there. Blanche talked to Ghislaine Maxwell, a co-conspirator in Florida. When Ghislaine spoke to Todd Blanche, she told him that Trump himself never acted inappropriately, and she never saw anything untoward in any way toward underage girls. Dana?
Yeah, but she also said he was never at the House, and in the email, Epstein said he was at the House. So this is going to be a very interesting meeting. The fact that Lauren Boebert is going to be there is especially fascinating.
Well, how the turns table. Apparently the White House currently, as we speak, is having an emergency meeting because they're in a fucking panic over the release of the Epstein files. So now that Adelita Grijalva is going to be sworn in, she will become the 218th signature on the discharge paperwork to release the Epstein files. And Donald Trump is currently trying to pressure Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace into changing their yes votes to no votes. He doesn't care which one of them does it, as long as one of them does it. And what they're hoping is they can get one of them to change their vote to a no vote to lock it back up until December 2nd, when there's a special election happening in Tennessee. Because if this other guy, this Republican guy in Tennessee, I think his name was like Von Vanopsky or something like that, he's a Republican. If he wins, then he'll vote no because he's cool to protect pedophiles. And then it won't matter that Grijalva is voting yes. So that's where the White House is. And also Pam Bondi, Todd Blanche, and Kash Patel are also having a meeting to figure out how to deal with the fallout of the release of the Epstein files, because they see it as happening inevitably. The one thing I really want you to pay attention to here is the number of people that are going out of their way to protect people that have done the most sick, disgusting, atrocious thing that you can think of. We all know Trump is in the files. Hell, we saw Ghislaine Maxwell's email this morning that talked explicitly about Trump being with one of the victims for hours. So we know he's in the file. There's no surprise there. And we know he has no moral character. But seeing the people that are tripping over their own feet to protect him and his PD30 friends is disgusting. But guess what? The panic at the White House, the meeting by Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, all of this lets us know that there's some shit in there, and when the cookie crumbles. I also spoke with some Congress people last week that once this discharge petition goes through, it'll have to go before the House floor for vote, and each Republican in the caucus will be required to put their name to a vote. And from what I'm hearing, there are several Republican members who are ready to jump ship because they refuse to have their name officially publicly recorded as protecting P3DOs. More to follow.
The major news: the White House is in chaos this morning as the backlash over the Epstein files continues to grow. Donald Trump has not publicly made a statement on his Truth Social account in more than 17 hours. Overnight, when asked about it in the Oval Office as he was signing the government shutdown reopening bill, he refused to answer. Meanwhile, the public is seeing more files released by the House Oversight Committee that suggest a much closer relationship between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Files that show Jeffrey Epstein trying to communicate with senior government officials in the Russian government to help them understand Donald Trump. Files showing that Jeffrey Epstein said that he spent the first Thanksgiving of Trump's presidency in 2017 in Palm Beach with Trump, and much more. I'm going to continue combing through them. There are 23,000 of them. I've gone through many of them, and I'll highlight a lot of them for you throughout the day. But this is a crisis like no other for the White House.
I don't think you have somebody trying to hide files around a hoax. We know that there's something there. We know that his own attorney general had to admit that he is in the files. But they are trying to hide stuff. The only reason that we have these emails is because we were able to get them from the estate. Not because the Department of Justice was releasing information, not because Kash Patel was releasing information, even though they've had subpoenas from the Oversight Committee for some time. Kash Patel continues to hold back information. So I thank God that there is somebody that still respects the law and still respects subpoenas in this country, but it's not the people that are in power to do it, the people that actually conducted the investigation. Imagine what we may discover if we got the investigatory information versus getting something from an estate.
Well, but we should also note that the head of the Oversight Committee is a Republican. It's Republican. The chairman is James Comer, and he is the one who is issuing these subpoenas.
Well, let's be clear about this.
Okay.
This is not something that he wanted to do. This was a subcommittee, remember? It has been the Speaker of the House who has consistently tried to avoid this by shutting down the House. So what the Speaker did is he sent us out on an early recess. But before we left, it was a subcommittee of the Oversight Committee that actually did the motion for the subpoenas, and the Democrats kept pushing, and some Republicans actually joined with the Democrats. This was not led by James Comer.
Like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, I don't know if she's on that subcommittee.
Okay.
But Nancy Mace is on that subcommittee for sure. She's actually the chair of that subcommittee. This subcommittee, the ranking member is Summer Lee. So it was that subcommittee. So this was actually the tail wagging the dog. I just want to be clear about that. And ultimately, the chairman had a vote that was bipartisan, that was the majority, and he had to do it. But whether or not they have been like slow rolling this, there's no question about the fact that they have.
Else, I probably wouldn't think it was as funny. So well done.
Thank you for being the only one on the right that gets the joke, Sean. It was a joke. And then, you know, the funniest thing about this story is Trump's all over the Epstein files. And I wonder if they're going to release that after the big bombshell. I didn't see anything about that on Fox News today. Yeah. Okay. So let's release them. Let's release those files. Is this what passes for news? Is this what passes for news on Fox News?
Why did you kiss her feet?
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Let's see. There I am. All right. All right. So I was a little late. It's 9:39 a.m. in the Pacific time zone here in beautiful Las Vegas. It's currently only 64 degrees right now. A little cooler than usual, but we are supposed to get up to 80 today. We got those overnight lows in the 50s, 53. I understand down in California, Southern California, they've got a storm coming in. Thank you for the thumbs ups, Aaron. Aaron lets me know that coming through loud and clear. Apparently, there's some rain and stuff hitting Southern California, so we will probably be getting that tomorrow. We're usually a day behind LA. And if the storms, if they're getting storms and stuff, it usually makes its way up here. Usually, sometimes it misses us, but usually we get at least something of it. All right, so man, it's all about his emails now, isn't it? Let me go to the chat. I'm not able to go to the top. I think Sandy was first again, probably, and then Paul Burrows or somebody. I'm only able to go up so far as I'm where Fancy. Wow, it's Fancy is here. Says hello to Susie. That's where we're at. Probably about 18, 19, 20 minutes ago. WW is here. Hey, W, good to see you. Nick Rich. Oh, 20 past the hour. So I am exactly 20 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 20 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 20 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 20 minutes behind, is what I'm trying to say. Susie Jones says, where's John? He's really late. Well, Susie, maybe you haven't been around here long enough. Being late is actually par for the course for me. There's Paul Burrows, Puff Puff Pass. See, it doesn't matter if I'm late. You guys can chat and you can Puff Puff Pass and talk about dancing and all kinds of shit. So you guys really don't even need me. The other day, my show ended abruptly because the battery died on my phone, and I do the show from the phone. For those of you that don't know, also trouble speaking today. And when it does that, I have to go. It's the thing. I have to go back into the program, and I have to end it manually or whatever. I don't know. And I forgot to do that. The phone was dead. I put the phone on the charger, and I just kind of forgot about having to go back into the Prism app to actually go in and end the show. So the thing was still broadcasting for like 3 or 4 hours, I think. Well, less than 4 hours, I think. And the thing ended up getting like 300 views. So, and that was most of it with me not even being there. So I thought I should just do this every day. I should just turn the thing on, and I could go work out. I could go do, I don't need to be here. Apparently, I think I get more views with me not here. Is what I'm trying to say. Anyhow, Nick Rich is here. Nefarious Enough is here. Hey, Nefarious Enough, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in and hanging out with us. Now, again, some folks you might be gone by now. These are posts from 20 minutes ago. Victor Harshman's here. Hey, Victor, good to see you. Jorgen Johansson is here. Hey, Jorgen. And I always forget where you're from. If it's Sweden, is it Sweden? There's, I think, maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong. But welcome. Thank you for being here from far away, many time zones away. Roxanne79 is here. Hey, Roxanne, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. I do appreciate you for coming in. Petrazi 1920 is here. Hey, Petrazi. Good to see you. Hello, TJ in chat, says Petrazi. Wow, it's fancy. I saw the name. WW celebrating his Truckiversary. Happy Truckiversary to WW. Yippee! Celebrating 16 glorious months as a member of the Trucker John channel. And with that little announcement of the Truckiversary, WW writes, "Don't we all deserve 500K? I know I do. I think we do. But the Republicans would never give us that. All those neglected folks there in the outskirts of town and those Illinois areas that WW claims Democrats are always neglecting. Why don't the Republicans send those people $500,000 apiece? If the Republicans are so in tune with the rural folks of Illinois, why don't they send them a bunch of money? W is here. Hey, W, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. I do appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so much. Victor Harshman says, Jesus, I can't type Carmageddon. That sounds like a country western song. Jesus, I can't type Carmageddon, but I sure can type whatever. I sure can type. I'm proud to be an American. Jesus, I can't type Armageddon, but I sure can type. I'm proud to be an American. Oh, thank you very much. Ask Una is here. All true? Yes, all true. It's all true. I guess it was during the intro. It's the stuff in the intro. Something there was all true. It's all true. I tell you, man. I tell you, it's all true. I did not have sex with that woman. Jenny. Nefarious enough. This is Trump's America. This is Trump's America. And I'm so proud to be in it. Susie Jones, this is a gross criminal action by those Republicans. That's why it's important to get the word out. They're trying to, they do this stuff in the middle of the night And we need to, expose it. We need to shine the light. Gonna shine a light on you. Fancy, I want the video evidence. Not sure what that was in reference to. Oh, maybe about Trump and Epstein and raping children. That's what they did. They were raping children. DPD 5844 says, "Fuck them all." This is all caps, by the way, but I'm feeling a little mellow right now, and so I'm not feeling like reading it in all caps. So I'll just tell you that it's all caps. DPD 5844 says, "Fuck them all. This is absolutely unconscionable." Fuck all the Republicans for sure, and metaphorically, because I wouldn't want to literally fuck them all. Nick Rich, there might be a couple in there I would. That was out of line, Fowler. You're out of line. Tommy, was I out of line? Nick Rich, are we still talking about the Epstein guy in quotes? That was the what Trump said a couple months ago. He just wants it to go away so badly, doesn't he? He wants this whole thing to go. He's just hoping. He's praying. He's like, if I close my eyes, will it go away? Will it go away? If I sit here in my poopy pants diaper, will it go away? I'm just, he just loves the sleep. He's like, please, just, I'm gonna drift off to sleep here in my Oval Office behind the Resolute desk. I don't care if people are talking right now. I'm just gonna go to sleep. I just can't take it. I love to just be in my little slumber, in my little dream world. It's so much better than the reality. I'm just gonna take a little nappy, poo poo pappy, my poo poo panties. I'm gonna poop and I'm gonna dream. Oh, in my little dreamland, I'm just pooping and it's happiness and there's no one talking about those. Are we still talking about that Epstein guy? And scene. Thank you. Wow. Nick Rich, who trusts Jizzy Maxwell? That's funny because I call her Jizz Face. So we're kind of like, me and Nick Rich on the same page there. I think so. Roxanne, ooh, what happened to the emojis? I don't know, Roxanne. I don't know what happened. I don't know. So much stuff happens and I don't know what happens to it. I don't know. Did you guys see? I made this little. I guess the kids are calling these memes these days. And did you see how? Okay, those are the Z's because he's sleeping. I couldn't find anything to make drool, so I put that's a comma, but it's supposed to be like drool coming out of his mouth. I just want to go through the the incredible detail that I put into this. And if you see down here in the lower right hand corner, there's a little tippy top of the poop emoji. Because it's like poopy. That's like some poopies coming out of his poopy diaper. Poopy diaper. And I know this was in the Oval Office, and the lady that's right behind him is not a nurse, but it kind of looks like that's his nurse, or something. Anyhow, all right. Enough of indulging myself. DPD 5844 says, I state your name. No, I firmly believe that the entire Trump crime family was involved with the Epstein pedophile ring. After all, what children would allow their mother to be buried on a fucking golf course? I don't know what I'm sure they knew about it. They didn't do anything to stop it. But yeah, I mean, for sure, Eric and Junior were probably in there, participating as well. Although it's kind of weird that their names really don't come up, Junior and Eric, or even Ivanka. I always forget Ivanka or Ivana, and I know one's the mom, one's the daughter, and people keep telling me, You guys will tell me who's who, who's whom is whom, which one is which. But I guess it's because I just don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about Ivanka. They're all turds. They're all just turds. They're all pieces of shit. Jorgen Johansson says those pedophiles, or as Jolly was calling them, I guess because I guess he's on TikTok and their algorithm is really weird about taking videos down for certain things, and so he's what do you say, like P3OD or something, whatever. Because the E is like a backward, because the 3 is like a backward E or something. So like P3. Is that what he's at? P3DO? Is that what he's? Anyhow, Jorgen Johansson says those pedophiles always protect each other. Watch the Vatican that always have defended their pedophile priest. Disgusting. Never leave your kid alone with a priest. And it's interesting that the new Pope, I think, has been pretty critical of Trump, but mainly over ICE stuff, huh? Yeah. It's kind of funny. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys can correct me. The new Pope. I'm just calling him the new Pope because he's like the new Coke, the new Pope. I don't know. And I don't know his name. Some Chuck or something. Leo. Was it Leo? Leo from Chicago. You're on line 1. Has come out, I think, pretty critical of the Trump administration for their handling of with ICE and with deportations and things. I don't think I've seen him come out too much about any of the pedophilia stuff. I wonder why. Ivanda Vi. Hey, there's Fancy with a $2 super chat. Yippee! Going out to Yippee. Going out to Fancy. You're not Yippee, you're Fancy. You're Fancy. Wow, it's Fancy. Thank you so much, Fancy. I do appreciate you. There's a thumbs up for you and a heart. Thanks for doing that. That does help the show. Helps us keep going and growing and getting big and strong. So thank you. It's what do I like to say? I say it's never required, but always greatly appreciated when someone gives a donation. So thank you so much. Richard, our expat down under, says Epstein and Trump are like 2 peas in a pod. Yep. They're both really creepy pedophiles that rape children. One is dead as far as we know, and the other one we're keeping hope. Keeping hope out for that. Victor Harshman says, turn out the lights, party's over, GOP. Aaron West is here. I don't know if we are at full mod capacity. I don't think I've seen Jolie yet, so right now we're still waiting to get there. Ivy Joe Rains is here. Hey, Ivy Joe, good to see you. Ivy Joe says, afternoon, everyone. I got released, and I am home after 2 weeks in the hospital. The food was yucky, but the staff was amazing. So at least there's that. At least you don't have the double whammy of crappy food and shitty people. At least you had good people. So. But I'm glad you're out of the hospital. I'm not sure what happened, but I'm glad you're out of the hospital, and I hope you continue to get better and on your way to good health and happy times. Good times. Good times, good times, good times, good times. We're going to have a good time. A good time. Andrew Petrie's here. Hey, Andrew, Petri Dish. Can I call you that? Can I call you Petri Dish? No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to call you Andrew. Andrew Petrie. Thanks for being here. Thanks so much. I do appreciate you coming on in. Marsha Jones is here. Hey, Marsha. Marsha Jones is here. Good to see you. Our expat down under is congratulating the Dodgers once again for winning the World Series. I'm waiting for his next one. His next text will probably be, or post will be, that Sandy Koufax had the best curveball in baseball or something like that. DPD 5844 says, I absolutely love and adore Stephanie Miller, and I believe nasty ass Sean Hannity is in those files. After all, he and the Orange Pedophile go way back. He could be. Yeah, they're buddies. They do shit together. So yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Wouldn't doubt it. Nick Rich says 9:39. I think I'm about 17 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 17 minutes behind you. 17 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 17 minutes behind you. And everybody else in the chat, I'm 17 minutes behind you. Marsha Jones, better late than never. That's right. Better late than never is what my daddy always told me. Richard from Down Under, our expat from Down Under, is saying it's 3:40 a.m. in Australia. So Richard up. I don't know if Richard is just up late or got up early. You never know. You never know, man. MJ Daniels only a little late, just a little late. Truth be known, I was editing my beautiful intro there all the way up till after 9 a.m. and I was still putting it together. Even though, once again, I did get up at like 7 in the morning, my time. And some of you are probably wondering, why don't you just do that the night before? And I'm actually, a couple of those clips I did get from the night before. But I try to, I guess I'm kind of pushing it too close, but I want to get stuff that I find that is as most recent as I can, that's like, in case something breaks overnight or whatever. But I probably could get, because a lot of those stuffs that I put in there anyway are, it's not like it's just 2 minutes old. A lot of it is like 17 hours old or 20 hours old or 24 hours old or something. So, but anyway, I try to find stuff that's as recent as possible to the beginning of this show. And that is the main thing that's making me late is the intro, putting together that intro. Rosanna 21's here. Hey, Rosanna, good to see you. I don't know if I've seen you in a while, Rosanna 21. Good to see you. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for coming back and hanging out with us. Andrew Petrie says it's raining on Vancouver Island, but when is it not? That's my question. When is it not? Fancy says, I hear it's going to be a big storm. Yeah, they got the storm coming in, rolling into LA and SoCal. And up in Big Bear is going to get some snow, about a foot of snow, I think. And then we're going to we're supposed to get some rain following, supposed to come up this way. Hey, Elizabeth Martinez is here. Buenos dias, John. Buenos dias, Elizabeth Martinez. Good to see you. Hola, as we like to say. Hola. Thanks for being here. I do appreciate you coming in and hanging out. DPD 5844 says, good morning and afternoon, TJ. It's 12:40 in Ohio. Ohio. So does that mean I'm 21 minutes behind you? DPD 5844, 21 minutes behind you. Mad Max here, Slava Ukraini. I just hit the table. I hit the table. Hit that table. Who else we got in here? We got Richard, the expat American here, living in Australia, born 1947 in Texas. Okay. MJ Daniel says that the DJT people have had all that Epstein stuff for so long. How much can we trust it? Is there a way to independently confirm the info in the files? Well, that stuff that's being released right now, that is from the Epstein estate. And Jeffrey Epstein's brother, he believes that his brother was murdered and that it wasn't a suicide. And so under the state, apparently they have all of these emails. And because they are, I don't know where they are in the process of if there's a lawsuit. I think the estate, I don't know where they're at on it, but I think they want to sue somebody because they don't think that, or they want some investigations or something to go further into the death, because they they're the ones that they hired the the pathologist, the ME guy, was it Michael Bodden or whatever? He's kind of famous and does these things, and they hired him, and he said that those injuries weren't consistent with suicide. It was more consistent with homicide. I believe that was his findings and stuff. So anyhow, the Democrats subpoenaed those emails from the Epstein estate. And which I think the estate was probably only too happy to oblige, because I think they want to get the story out that they believe that Jeffrey Epstein, by they, I mean his brother mainly, believes that his brother Jeffrey was murdered, and that it was not a suicide. And I agree, actually. I don't believe it was a suicide. I believe he was murdered, and I believe it's just way too coincidental that his cellmate was this huge fucking bodybuilder, serial killer, mafia hitman who had murdered many people for the mafia, and that was his cellmate, who probably knew how to break someone's neck very expertly and quickly. I think he broke his neck, killed him, and then strung him up, with sheets or whatever they did to make it look like a hanging. That's what I think. But anyhow, as far as is there a way to independently confirm the info in the files? I'm sure that the I shouldn't say that I'm sure, but because what happens. We had this conversation about assuming yesterday, but I'm sure there is a way to forensically check for the validity of these emails, and I don't think they would be putting it out if they hadn't had some measure of confidence in these being real. But yeah, I understand the. It's a good question. I understand, because we want to make sure this shit is real before we get all excited about it, or something. Nick Richlove, Ukraine. Michael McAndrews, old cowboy Richard, from now living in Australia. Andrew Petrie says, TJ, just put a potato there with a mic. Just put a potato there with a mic? Okay. DPD 5844 says, why are people so enraged over Zoran calling him a terrorist, but yet the White House welcomes an actual terrorist who once had a $10 million bounty on his head? All I hear is loud crickets. I completely agree, DPD. I didn't see too much about that, but who brought that up? Because I watched, I go through YouTube and I watch so many different things, and someone did bring that up about they had this fucking. Oh, it was Ojeda, wasn't it? Did you guys watch Ojeda last night? I think it was Ojeda who brought that up, and the major, who apparently can't pronounce J's like H's, because his name is Ojeda, but 99.9% of the world would see that as Ojeda. And I don't know I never knew. I know I'm going on a tangent here, And I just thought maybe he just preferred Ojeda over Ojeda or something. But then he started talking about Grijalva, Adelita Grijalva, who just got sworn in from Arizona, right? The one that Mike Johnson wouldn't swear in. And he was calling her Grijalva. This is the major. And this is just an aside. This is just an observation. This is nothing against the major. I like him. I think he's good. I hope he wins. I guess he's running for Senate, right? I hope he wins. Or I don't know. I forget if it's the House or the Senate, but he's running. I hope he wins. But he kept calling her Grijalva instead of Grijalva. Now I understand I'm not the greatest at speaking Spanish or Spanish surnames. I'm sure I'm saying Grijalva, and that's technically probably not even right. I'm sure Elizabeth Martinez could probably school us up on. It's like Grijalva, or you're supposed to roll an R in there or something. I'm not so good at rolling the R's, but I can pronounce a J like an H. It's not that hard to do. But I just came to the realization that the reason that Major Ojeda says Ojeda instead of Ojeda is because he cannot pronounce a J like an H for some reason. And that was sort of verified when he kept calling Grijalva. Anyhow, that was my aside. I know I'm going off on a tangent. That was my little aside, and I get sidetracked. But anyhow, the thing is, I did see where I'm pretty sure that's where I saw that he was very upset, Major Ojeda, and I don't blame him, and I'm right there with him about having this motherfucking terrorist in the White House, who, according to Ojeda, this motherfucker has killed American soldiers. And he's in the fucking White House. Not being arrested, as he probably, it's like, yeah, bring him there and we'll arrest him. But no, they didn't do that. They fucking gave him the royal treatment. So, fuck you, President Poopy Pants. Michael McAndrews, $10 super chat. Yippee, Michael. Thank you so much. I just now got to it. I just scrolled down to it. Michael says, let's go. Is Dumpy Stump in prison yet? Not yet, Michael, but you'll be the first to know. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you for that donation. Like I say, it's never required, but always greatly appreciated so much. So thank you so much for helping out the show. Richard says, congratulations to LA Dodgers for winning the World Series. I'm sure they'll take that. Congratulations. Uh-oh. Aaron's internet crashed. WW says, no, Johnny, don't be a fool. Johnny, don't be a fool. The Republicans ignore them too. They just don't pretend to care about them. Oh, so that's the difference. So you think that the Democrats are pretending to care about them, but the Republicans, they're just out and out shitty. And they're not even, they're not even trying to pretend that they have a heart. Oh, okay. Man, to live such a jaded life. Andrew Petrie, sorry, Blue Jays won Game 6. Umps were blind. Oh, please, Andrew. Please, with that shit. Wow, it's fancy. Trucker John sings the hits. Yeah. What was the one I was singing? I don't even remember what I did now. Tim Farrell, the Farrell one's here. Have a good day, everyone says. We'll have a good day right back at you. Right back at you. Richard says Trump is in big trouble as he has been involved in the Epstein files. Yes, he has been. He's been involved in a lot more than just the files. Yeah, no, yeah, I get you though. Yeah, Trump's in big trouble. He's panicking, and he's desperately wants Boebert or MTG or one of them to not sign that discharge notice. Now, here's the thing that's kind of a little confusing to me. We're not confusing, but I guess maybe it's confusing. But like when in the intro, if you guys watched it, the Jolly Ginger guy brought up the thing about the Republicans are there's a special election coming up, I think in Virginia or something, and that's a heavily Republican district. So the Republicans are expecting to win that special election, and if that happens, that would cancel out Adelita Grijalva's vote. She said she's going to vote in favor of releasing or of the discharge notice. All this nomenclature, I'm stumbling through it, but I've heard other reports where that's not true. That she's the 218th vote, and that's all that's needed is 218. It doesn't matter if another Republican comes in and votes against it. So maybe if there's someone in the chat that can research that, that would be great. If we could fact check that, because what I've heard is that no, she's the 218th vote, and if someone new comes in, it's not going to matter. Now, if one of the others that so I don't know. Yeah, so like the way it is now, that's why he wants Boebert or MTG or whatever to not sign it. But if someone in addition to I think didn't Mike Johnson say that he gave the number after I think after he swore in Adelita Grijalva. At some point he said, now I think we said we are at 455 total House members. Or whatever the number was. I think he said 455 or something. I don't know. I forget now. So as it stands with the 455, apparently all they needed was 218. So now if it becomes 456, I believe it's still 218. You know what I'm saying? Do you guys know what I'm saying? I know I'm probably not making sense. But so what I've heard is that it doesn't matter if this new person comes in and votes no for releasing the Epstein files or for releasing the discharge notice. So I need someone to maybe research that for me, fact check it, or do something, whatever we're calling it. Now, not Nick Rich, W says he's not running ever again, and yet he is our major political focus. Talk about a distraction. Are you talking about Trump is not running ever again? Well, for one thing, he keeps trolling us by saying he wants to have a third term, and he is the current president of the United States. It's not like this is just some backbencher, in the House of Representatives that no one ever hears of. This is the fucking president of the United States. Now, I don't want to get too much on your shit because maybe you're not talking about Trump. Maybe I just misread that. But let's face it, President of the United States is a pretty fucking big deal. As one of our other presidents once said, but he wasn't president when he said that. So, like once again, WW is wrong. I find it amazing. WW was teaching kids for like so many years and is wrong about so much stuff. WW, what about Charlie Kirk? Are we just going to forget about him? Yeah. I never really talked about him much before his death, and then at the time of his death and around that time, I personally, just myself, on this show, I talked about it a little bit because it was a pretty big story. It was a pretty amazing. Not, I don't mean like in a good way or anything like that, but I mean it was pretty. You know, I mean, it was horrific, and it was something to talk about. But now I don't give a fuck about Charlie Kirk. I really don't. I didn't give a fuck about him before, and I don't give a fuck about him now. So I actually think the less we talk about him, thank you, WW, for putting Charlie Kirk now in my fucking train of thought here. But I think the less we talk about that motherfucker, the better. Let's let him slink away off into obscurity where he belongs. But I'm sure things will come up as Erica Kirk and JD Vance as their romance blossoms. As he whispers sweet nothings into her ear and tells her that she looks like a couch or something. I don't know. I suppose the Erica Kirk will come up. I don't know about Charlie Kirk though. Like I said, let him slink off. Let his memory just slink off into obscurity. And I guess only buttholes. When's the last time you were called a butthole? Only buttholes like WW will want to revive his memory or something. I guess I don't know. Maybe I bet you WW has a Charlie Kirk poster above his bed or something. Aaron West says, Michael, I'm okay, except they are getting ready to lay off a bunch of people at work, and I don't know if it's me. That's got to be so. That sucks. And I remember you mentioned that earlier or yesterday, and I thought that just that's just horrible. I have to live like wondering and wondering and wondering, and that's the one thing. And then if you are one of the people that get laid off, that's even worse. So yeah, it sucks. And I hope you don't get laid off, but probably better to know one way or the other as soon as possible instead of always having that sort of anxiety about it, you know. Aaron West, Ivanka means little Ivana. Ivanka is the daughter. Thank you, Aaron. I thought so. I mean, I was pretty sure Ivanka is the daughter, but then the doubt creeps in, you know. And I'm like, wait a minute, did I get that right? Victor Harshman says that Jeffrey Epstein tried to contact Russia's top diplomat with knowledge about President Donald Trump prior to a meeting with Russia and President Vladimir Putin in 2018. I did see something about that. Yes, I did see that. And I always think it's always kind of amazing, I guess, how Russia always comes back into the picture. We just can't get rid of Russia. Russia, I can't quit you. Mad Max says that ungrateful mofo, we supported him during his illness whilst the maggots all made fun and derogatory memes about him. Now he's kissing their ass and dissing us at DPD 5844. So who was it that was doing this? I guess I gotta go back to see what DPD said. What did the deputy dog say? Oh, about Fetterman. Okay, I skipped that. I skipped the Fetterman thing. I mean, and that was right after the W saying about Charlie Kirk, and I guess I went off about that, so I skipped this one. DPD 5844 says, did anyone see what John Fetterman said about Democrats? By saying we are worse than the Nazi fascist white nationalist regime of pedophiles, they definitely have something on him. And then, so that was the response that I read from Mad Mac. Well, like I said, the people of Pennsylvania, you want to put somebody up against them when he's up for re-election, go ahead and go for it. My thing is just, I still at this point, I'm still going to say that Fetterman is better than a Republican holding that seat. Some people are saying that some people in this chat room have said that Fetterman's going to change parties. I don't know. I haven't heard him say that, or I don't know if that's just speculation or whatever. So my thing is, yeah, if you want to primary his ass. But just make sure you're going to get somebody in there that can win that seat. Because at the end of the day, a fucked up John Fetterman is still better than a fucking Republican. And I guess I can't stress that enough. But yeah, Fetterman is it seems worse as time goes by with the things he says and does. As far as I know, he's still voting with Democrats 95% of the time. That's better than 0, which is what you would get with a Republican. But we do have a process. If we're not happy with our politicians, there is a process. There is impeachment. I think you can, but we can't just impeach them. That has to be done by Congress. But what we, the voters, can do is we can vote, and we can write. We can write letters, and we can make phone calls to Fetterman's office, or even to just to Democratic organizations, the DNC or DCCC or D whatever, the local Pennsylvania Democratic Society or whatever the fuck they call it. You can put pressure on them if enough people say, hey, look, this Fetterman is not what we want as our representative. We want a better Democrat in there. Get somebody up to primary his ass. We want him primaried. Put the pressure on him. If enough people are calling and writing, then it'll probably happen. But if it doesn't happen, I'm telling you, if I lived in Pennsylvania and I was all gung ho for primarying his ass and getting somebody else in there, and let's say Fetterman still won the general election, won the primary and was going into the general, I would still vote for Fetterman over any Republican. And I think I've sufficiently beat that dead horse, so I'm going to move on. Moving on. Mad Max says the Catholic priests are now accompanying people to court and other immigration situations to protect those people. That came from the Pope. Is that Pope Leo from Chicago? A Pope on down the line. Good on them. Yeah, I'm in favor of that. And I say, good on the Catholic Church for doing that. Good on them. I think that's a good thing. Victor Harshman says, speaking of the Pope, has anybody seen the new Nuremberg movie? Ooh, no, I have not. Where's that? Is that in the theaters, or is that like a Netflix movie? Where? No, I have not. I have not. DPD says, I know Mad Mac. My husband and I contributed money to Fetterman's campaign. We made a terrible mistake. I don't think you made a terrible mistake. Because if you hadn't, let's say you and a bunch of other people hadn't, and that resulted in getting Dr. Oz elected, this is one of those hills I guess I'm going to have to die on. I still submit to you that John Fetterman is better than fucking Dr. Oz. Now, if your contribution could have gone to one of the other Democrats running, and that would have propelled that person into the seat. And that's a pretty, that's a pretty heavy lift there. That's or in terms of changing the reality, or Fetterman was the front runner, and if you contributed to his campaign, I don't think you made a mistake. I don't, especially not a terrible mistake, because I still submit Fetterman's better than Oz. Fetterman's better than any fucking Republican. I will die on that fucking hill, just like I will die on the hill that pineapple is perfectly acceptable topping for pizza. Those are the two things I will die for. Not die for, but the hill that I will die on. So I don't think you made a terrible mistake. But I don't think there's anything wrong with now. We see what he's doing. We see his attitude. We see the things he says. We see that, this somewhat capitulation or whatever, going to Mar-a-Lago, bending the knee, all that kind of shit. I think those are all very, it's very reasonable now for people to want to primary him. But I'm still going to say that he's still better than a Republican. Jorgen Johansson, Slovenia don't have a monarchy. Slovenia. Seems rather random, but thank you very much for that. All thank you very much. Christina and Sun Ghost Squad here. Hey, Christina, good to see you. Says, hello, everybody. I'm at the doctor's office, so no sound. I just wanted to say hello. Okay. If I knew sign language, well, I could just do this, like hello, or hello. Do this hand. Hello. But I don't know how to say Christina now in like sign language. Hello, Christina. Like a C? Is it a C? Anyway, I hope everything's okay there at the doctor's office. I know Christina's been having back issues, I believe, so hopefully getting the back worked on, and I hope that goes well today. Hope that goes well. Nick Rich, 10 a.m. I'm 29 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 29 minutes behind. 29 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 29 minutes behind you. And everybody else in the chat room. 29 minutes. Christina Sun says, laughing out loud, Trucker John, I put out a song today called The Sleepy President. We are on the same page. Yeah. There you go. Jorgen Johansson says, WW, you're right. Dumbo fries. Dumbo tries. Not Dumbo fries. I would like some Dumbo fries. But yeah, Dumbo tries to be a dictator king in a democratic republic. Anything can happen in this crazy world. Crazy world. It's a crazy, 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 crazy world. Such a crazy world we're living in. Yeah, 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 yeah. WW says some of the emails are convoluted, too adamant. Too adamant? What does that mean, too adamant? That Clinton was never on the island makes me think that they were doctored by Clinton FBI. I haven't seen those. Have you? I haven't seen any emails that say that Clinton wasn't on the island. And I believe the authenticity of the emails can be fairly easily checked. DPD 5844 says, remember this name, Dr. Tanisha Hall, is the warden of the federal prison camp Camp Bryan, where convicted sex trafficker Maxwell is currently being held. Dr. Hall has been helping Maxwell with her paperwork. Tanisha Hall. Okay, I'll have to remember that. I'll have to remember that. WW says hung himself with his own bed in his own bed while allegedly some strange roommate watched. Don't believe it. I don't either. WW. At least we agree. I think we kind of agree on that. W. We are maybe in agreement. Anna Moore's here. Hey, Anna, good to see you. Said hello, TJ and fellow truckers. Let's go. I like the nightlife, baby. Let's go. You and me. LFG. Baby. Baby. You and me, baby. Let's go. I like the nightlife, baby. Let's go. Let's see here. MJ Daniel says, and there has to be a lot worse in there. Those fuckers are sexual predators of the worst sort. Ask Melania. She was there. Yeah, we need to subpoena her bitch ass, don't we? WW says, there is a personal truth and a political truth, never the same. Really? Never say never. Never say never. Nick Rich says, Congress needs Richard Ojeda. Or Ojeda. I agree. I think I like him. I would vote for him if I lived in, what was he at, Virginia or West Virginia or some ass place like that. WW, they use American pronunciation. Proud to be an American. They, by they, you mean Ojeda? Talking about Ojeda? Is Ojeda a they? Is that his pronoun? I thought he was a he. I'm pretty sure Ojeda's pronoun is he. He, him. He, him, who? He, his, him. Is that what it is? Is that Ojeda's explanation? So he's going to mispronounce Grahava purposely just because of something where he thinks it's American? Maybe I won't vote for him. No, I'm just kidding. I would still vote for him. Because again, Ojeda, I'm sure, is better than any Republican. I don't care if the Republican he's running against is a shitbag, and it kind of sounds like he is. I don't care who the Republican is. That Republican could be Jesus Christ himself, and I would still vote for Ojeda. If Jesus Christ was a Republican in 2025, I would still vote for the Democrat over Jesus Christ. How do you like that? Huh? What do you think of them apples? WW, what do you think of those fucking apples? If Jesus Christ was a Republican running for office, and it was what I could vote for, I would vote for the Democrat. So there. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Put that in your vape cartridge and smoke it. Put that in your brownies and eat them. Make that into a edible and eat it. DPD says, look for Bill Barr and his dad to possibly be implicated. After all, Barr's father was the one who gave Epstein a job as a teacher at a very elite prep school when Epstein had no teaching credentials. Is his dad still alive? Is Bill Barr's dad still alive? Because Bill Barr is like fucking 70. Right? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not really sure how Bill... I was just assuming Bill Barr was in his 70s, but maybe he's not. I don't know. Maybe he's only 32. I don't know. Okay, he's not 32. But anyhow, that's but the point is that there's a lot of people that were enablers, I guess, of Epstein, and Epstein, I think, as we've seen through some of these emails and stuff, was a master extortionist and blackmailer. Because he seemed to get a lot of expensive houses and have a big bank account, and no one knows what did he do to get that. I mean, there's no legitimate sources of income. I don't think. I think everything he made was through blackmail. Everything he got was through blackmail. Every asset, every dollar was through blackmail. Christina says yes, Ojeda, 2028. Nick Rich, Ojeda's got your 6 in 26. Andrew Petrie, he's a murderer. I think we're talking about the guy who, I'm sure Ojeda's killed many people, but we're not talking about Ojeda. I think we're talking about the guy who was in the White House, the terrorist, I think. And that guy is a murderer and should not have been there and should not have been receiving all the royal treatment, so to speak. DBD says, my uncle was like that. He had trouble pronouncing his J's as well. He was a professor at a university for Cincinnati for over 30 years. So there you go. Just because you're a super duper smart professor doesn't mean you can do everything. Doesn't mean you can pronounce those J's. WW says, that's why rural folks don't trust Democrats. They paint a pretty picture, but screw the farms every time. Oh, like Trump is screwing the farmers now? What party is Trump in, W? What party is Donald Trump in? Tell me what fucking party is Donald Trump in? And tell me that he's not screwing over the farmers fucking royally right now. And he did that. He did it in his first term too. And they didn't learn. Talk about stupid. Talk about stupid fucking dumbasses. They didn't learn the first time, and they voted for his ass again. In fact, this was the third time they voted for him. It just so happens the second time, Joe Biden was able to win. But they never learned their fucking lesson. Maybe that's what you should be talking about, WW, is how these dumb rural fucking Republican dumbasses keep voting against their best interests. Talk about the Lucy holding the football fucking thing. I'm all flustered. They keep voting for Trump, and Trump keeps screwing them. Apparently, they like being screwed, and being screwed is there's a good way and there's a bad way, and this is the bad way. Richard says Bone Spurs Trump called veterans suckers and losers. Yes, he did. What a grub. And yet, how many veterans and service people vote for Trump, even though Trump has no respect for them whatsoever? He just views them as being suckers and losers. Suckers and losers. Why would anyone join the military? And in fact, I think one of his sons was thinking about it, and I think he's slapped him or something. Christina Sun Ghost Squad says this Peto's reign is coming to an end with these emails, I think. I hope so. Yeah, Mad Max says, Richard, it is true. The gravesite is overgrown and not kept up. Interesting. She was cremated, but put in a casket that 10 men struggled to carry. Yeah, I know. What the fuck is it? What is that about? I am in the camp that says that casket needs to be dug up and opened up. We need to find out what the fuck is in there. I don't think it's just some ashes. I don't think it's just Ivana's ashes. I think there's a little more in there. W says she's buried with the P-tape. That and amongst probably, because how heavy is a P-tape? There's got to be probably boxes of files or something. Victor Harshman says federal judge says she'll rule before Thanksgiving on whether to dismiss James Comey and Letitia James criminal cases. They'll probably get dropped. I think they'll get, at least Letitia James will probably, for sure, I think, get dropped. And they both should get dropped. Those are just bullshit cases. WW says there is a new seat in Kentucky, said on NPR this morning, that could spoil the numbers. I need verification as to whether or not it matters or not. That 218 is 218. And that the only way it would matter is if it would go below 218. So that would mean anyone who comes in additionally, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's going to take more than that to drop out. It would take an MTG or a Boebert to drop out, plus the new person to vote no, I guess. I think Trump still needs someone more than just, if there's going to be one more person added, he's going to need at least one more to drop out or to change their vote. Of those, the four that said the four Republicans are what? Isn't it Massey, Mace, Boebert, and MTG? So he's got to get one of those, at least one of those or more. If he gets two of them, then I think he doesn't. Then he would get what he wants. But I think he's assuming that, okay, the new person coming in is going to vote no on this special election. If it's a Republican, they're going to vote no. But he still needs one of those four to drop out, I think. Jorgen Johansson says, WW never lies, especially not to himself. I know that I'm a 63-year-old Swedish leftish that hate religion, and I always stand for what I say. And of course, I can be wrong sometimes, but not often. Skipping on down a little bit here. WW says so many shows built around Trump. What happens when he is gone? What will they try to worry about next? Oh, I'm sure that the Republicans won't waste any time in putting something, having someone out there that we're going to be worried about. They seem to waste no time in that. And just doing shitty, awful things that we can talk about. DBD's 5844 says, I was accused of being MAGA because I voiced my opinion about my feelings and views on the election being stolen from Kamala Harris. I was profoundly and beyond offended to be associated with evil. Evil. So that kind of doesn't make sense. If you thought that the election was being stolen from Kamala Harris, why would you be MAGA? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Like, if you were MAGA, you would be happy that she lost, right? You wouldn't be voicing opinions that you thought it was stolen from her if you were MAGA. So whoever called you MAGA was probably a dumb maggot. WW takes a butthole to know a butthole, asshole. You should have called me butthole. That would have been so much funnier if you would have just said takes a butthole to know a butthole. Butthole. See, I got to teach everyone about comedy. I got to teach everyone about comedy. Huh? Nick Rich says, when he's gone, we'll be dancing in the streets, Wes. Yeah, we could just do shows about that, about us dancing and being happy once again. Happiness was restored to the world, or at least to America. I saw Damon Dog, the big dog, in here. Hey, Damon Dog. Hello, Christina. Thank you for reading last night. Oh, you got a reading last night. Oh, nice. I didn't watch that. I'll have to watch the replay. Hopefully you got a good reading and said you will have many happy days on your new bike. Mad Max, Zeus's butthole. Zeus's butthole? Yeah, wasn't that the Nicolas Cage thing that Hal always plays? Nick Rich, 20 past the hour. So you know what that means. I'm only 27 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. 27 minutes behind you. I'm only 27 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. 20 minutes behind you. Comedy. It's the comedy, folks. It's all about that comedy. It's all about that comedy. I'm telling you, man. It's comedy. It's comedy. Today's Comedy Thursday. Comedy. Comedy. Because comedy is not pretty. Now let me tell you about the cruel shoes. Anyhow. My hair feels all staticky. WW says, use your energies and money wisely. Fetterman is for another time. Well, yeah, it's for another time, but I think that if you do want to primary him, if the voters of Pennsylvania want to primary him, they need to start fighting for a good, viable candidate that can not only beat Fetterman, but that can beat whatever Republican they're going to put up on the Republican side. And the primary season, well, I don't know when he's up. Is he up probably later, huh? Oh, that's right. He was wasn't he one of the hated eight? So he's not up until, I guess, 2028. So we got time. Yeah, we got time. But just know that if you're going to do that, find a really good candidate, a super good candidate that's going to blow him out of the water, and then be a good candidate to beat the Republican. And if they're just putting up assholes like Dr. Oz, and it seems like it shouldn't be that hard. But who knows? Maybe the next person they put up is going to be an actual real person. Yeah, WW Fetterman's in office until 2029. Yeah, because the re-election is 2028, and then the new Congress will be sworn in 2029, in January 2029. But you can't wait till the last second either. You can't, So I don't. If they're going to do it, maybe start looking around now. Maybe start getting some feelers out there. Mad Max says, now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their country. We had to type that in typing class in the 70s. Yeah, I remember typing that a million times over. I took typing class in junior high. Jorgen Johansson, wasn't RK Jr. running for the Democrats, and now he licked Dumbo's ass. Yeah, he was. He was running for president as a Democrat. And then I think he dropped out, and then didn't he switch to just being an independent or something? And was trying to run because he had that big benefactor that gave him millions of dollars for his campaign. But I think he dropped off of the Democratic campaign and started running as an independent. Yeah, he's just a mess. RFK Jr. is a total fucking mess. Ivy Joe Rains, a platypus is better than Oz. Platypus 2028. WW 2015 Tesla S, 55,000 miles, $39,000, tempting. W, just fucking do it. I'm tired of hearing about you talking about these Teslas that you've been able to buy and for like 3 years now. Just fucking do it, dude. At this point, shit or get off the pot. WW says, at least Dr. Oz acted like a real doctor when the pharma guy fainted. That's true. We'll give him that much. We'll give him that much. At least he didn't run out of the room like RFK Jr. did. Or just stand there with your hands at the side, just staring like Trump did. Like, oh my God, what's going on? How would a normal person react right now? What am I supposed to do? If I was a normal person that actually had feelings, compassion, and he's just sitting there, he's like, his brain is on fire. His brain is smoking. Smoke's coming out of his ears. He's like, what am I supposed to do? And then he's like, God damn it, I really would like to sit down and take another nap. And I really do think the guy passed out from smelling Trump's poopy diapers because he was right behind him. I'm pretty sure he had had enough of those adult shit diapers being full, having to go listen to Dr. Oz, and then he was listening to RFK, doing these big long-winded speeches, and the guy just was trying his best to get through it. But that stench, he couldn't hold out any longer, and he finally just passed out. I'm 100% sure that that's what happened. I don't know if it's exactly true or not, but that's what as far as I'm concerned, it is. David Dog says, I went out riding yesterday. I'm getting the hang of it. I got it up to 19 miles an hour. That's fast for a bike. Had to slow down. I'll get more videos tomorrow. And Damon Dog, have you ever seen on YouTube a channel? God, what's it called? I think it's called The Other Me. So it's a very unusual title. The Other Me. The Other Me. The Other Me. I'm just saying it slow because sometimes I don't enunciate. And he does nothing. Well, he does other things. Sometimes he does like Fremont Street and Vegas stuff. But primarily, I would say 90% of his videos are on e-bikes and electric scooters. And he does two-wheelers and he does three-wheelers. I know you already got your bike, so I guess maybe it doesn't matter. But I think it's interesting to you can see what he does. He takes them out for rides and he kind of reviews them. If you're interested in seeing another guy ride e-bikes, then go check out The Other Me, Damon Dog. There might be something in there that you find interesting and maybe helpful to because you're just now getting into it, and this guy's been doing it forever or for years now, and so you might find something helpful. The Other Me, I believe that's what it's called. Jorgen Johansson says, TJ, I guess you have sung a lot in your truck. Yeah, I did, because you're driving for 11 hours a day and it can get boring as fuck. And you can check out my video called Russia Sucks, and that will show you exactly the kind of shit that I would do. Yeah. WW, I don't get your logic. Jesus Christ would never run for office. WW, our former teacher, our former educator, might you look up the word hypothetical? Okay, you don't get to lay down parameters in a hypothetical. It's a fucking hypothetical, dumbass, butthole. David Dog Mad Mac, I just looked at the quad lock. Very nice. I'd have to change my phone case too. I'll keep it in mind. Oh, that's another thing. If you go to the other me, you can see like, well, he doesn't really show it too much, but sometimes he'll talk about his cameras because he has cameras mounted and he's got like a 360 camera and he's got all this kind of stuff. And you can maybe get ideas about how to if you're going to do more writing. I'm talking to David Dog, you guys. If you're going to do more writing, or anyone who even Mr. Spock does, or is it Nick Rich? Which one of you guys has the e-bike? I mean the e-scooter. I forget now. It's either Spock or Rich, right? Or both, maybe. I don't know. But if you're doing videos, you can watch the other me and get some ideas on how to make videos while you're writing those damn things. WW says there's no evidence Ivana Trump was cremated. A baseless conspiracy theory held that she was cremated, that a casket supposedly for her was instead filled with classified top secret documents. Yeah, I'd never heard that she was cremated until someone today mentioned it. But the fact of the matter is that she was, I think, a very small, petite woman, and it did look like. And granted, the pallbearers aren't exactly physical specimens, and so, but it did look like they were having some trouble with that casket, and yeah, there is, I guess, no evidence that the casket is filled with top secret documents or anything else other than just Ivana's remains. But inquiring minds would like to know, because it does seem fishy. Anything regarding Donald Trump and the Trump family at this point is suspect. WW says she, meaning Ivana, died on July 14th and was buried 6 days later at Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey. According to the New York Times, the ground at the golf club was consecrated Catholic. There you go. WW, nothing but facts there from WW. WW says, if you read better, you wouldn't totally screw up what I write. What are you and Hal going to be afraid of, or try to make us afraid of? I'm not trying to make anyone afraid of anything. Butthole. Yeah, butthole. WW, why try to make people afraid by spreading rumors? Oh, are you afraid? Little Wessie, are you afraid? Are you so afraid? Are you afraid? All I'm saying is I would like to see them exhume the body, exhume the casket, open the casket. Because, like I said, anything regarding the Trump family is suspect. They've earned that distinction through decades of deception and lies and grifting by that family. And yet, WW is going to be there to be the defender of the Trump family. Oh, my name is actually Wes Webb, and I am the defender of the Trump family, 'cause they are so great. Mr. Spock is here. By the way, live long and prosper. I am actually doing I was doing it perfectly, the Spock thingy. Mr. Spock says, this sucks. I ran out of Folgers. I have to break out the instant. Yeah, that does suck. Dame Dog says the 500,000 is the minimum. Ms. Lizzie Graham said she was going to get away with more than $1 million. It was two things. If go back and you can re-listen to the intro. One of them explained, or maybe I cut that part out, because there was one person where I cut it out. I did cut down what they said, but anyhow, I think it was in there. In the what the Republicans passed was that any Republican member of Congress, they could get 500 grand for, I think, if their emails were subpoenaed or something like that, and then they can get another 500 grand if their phone records were subpoenaed or something. There was two different things. I forget what it was. I have to go and re-listen to it. But there was two different things. That's why it's $1 million. So you can get 500 grand if they did this thing, and you can get another 500 grand if they did this thing. And I think they were all claiming that both things happened to them. That's why it was $1 million. But it was $500,000 for the one thing and $500,000 for the other thing. So that's why it came out to $1 million each. Skip it on down. Damon Elk, I'll get up, TJ. The Other Me. I believe that's what it's called, The Other Me. And he's from Vegas. He's from around here where I'm at, and he does a lot of the. And they're really pretty cool. I watch them all the time. I guess because I'm interested in getting one. So, but he does good videos. Aaron West, haha, hypothetical. Aaron thought that was funny, I guess. Victor Harshman, whatever. Whatever. WW. If Jesus wanted you to love him, you would love him. I love him. I do love him. I'm just saying, if he ran as a Republican, I would not vote for him. As the Republican Party is and has been for my entire lifetime, and I don't see it changing anytime soon. If the Republican Party is as I know the Republican Party to be, I would not vote for him. I would say, Jesus, why are you doing this to me? Why aren't you running as a Democrat? And then Jesus would probably say, well, I got offered a really good deal that I couldn't refuse. I don't know. Who knows? Nick Rich, 11 a.m. So I did skip down quite a bit. So now, guess what, Nick Rich? I'm only 4 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm only 4. Count them, 4. 4 little minutes behind you, Nick Rich. Just 4 little minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 4 little minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I know you guys probably hate the singing. They're like, what in the fuck? What in the actual fuck? But maybe I skipped down too much too soon because I am pretty much caught up now. But that's okay. I see Fancy's back. I think it seems as though Fancy may have left and has come back. Let's see. Fancy's talking to everybody. Michael McAndrew says, did you get your 10,000 steps today, Fancy? Ooh, that's a lot of steps. I was trying that, but it's too hard. Wow, it's Fancy says, no, laughing out loud. I got my lights on my Christmas tree, though. Well, there you go. You probably put a lot of steps doing that, going around the tree, WW, I'm not defending anybody, just not falling for lies. Lies! You're all lying. You're all liars. Gino Maynard is here. Hey, Gino, good to see you. Gino says, did Ivana Trump have an NDA, and when would it have expired? I don't know. I don't know exactly, but I do believe, if memory serves, I thought she was about to do, either she was going to write a book or she was going to do some sort of interviews or something, and she conveniently died. Very conveniently died before she could get out and start talking. So maybe there was an NDA, and maybe it was expiring, and she conveniently died, just before she was going to go out and start talking about some shit. It's all very convenient how it all went down, isn't it? Petrazi, 8 senators. That's what I said, didn't I? 8 Republican senators. They're all Republicans that got this $1 million. Or that are getting it. I don't think got it yet, but Michael McAndrews, I have a pic of the Northern Lights on blue sky. Ivy Joe Rains, we are having geometric storm today. Geometric. Mr. Spock, how's the tipping? Have you noticed a decrease? No, not really. I guess about the same. Ivy Joan Rain says also there are now 4 awakened volcanoes all active over the world. I did see a little bit of footage of of Hawaii. Had a big eruption. That looked pretty scary over there. Wow, it's fancy. I created a monster. Gina Maynard, MAGA would deport Jesus. He wasn't white. Yeah. Mr. Spock, the singing is wasting valuable time. Actually, it's just me filling time. I'm just filling time. WW says, and wasting time, not entertaining. Are you sure you aren't stoned? I'm sure that I'm not stoned. I am sure that I'm not stoned. Absolutely, because I have not ingested anything that would make me stoned in I don't know how long. Well, Fancy says it's that magical cape. I need to. I should wear a cape on the show. You know, Fancy put a cape on me in the that last video with featuring Trucker John, and so I should probably get one. You know. Josh says, I think the bug spray is affecting TJ. They didn't spray. They haven't sprayed in a while. They're supposed to come next Wednesday. And I hope they do, because I saw a couple more bugs, or I saw at least one, I think, yesterday over by the coffee machine. I smushed it. I hate bugs. I guess instead of singing, I could just talk about bugs. Damon Dog, I also predict a major earthquake coming from Japan. Geez, Damon, I didn't know you were a earthquake predictor. Fancy says it was about to expire. Talking about Ivana, and we were speculating whether or not she had an NDA when it expired, and I surmised or theorized that it was coming to an end, and that she conveniently died. And so Fancy says it was about to expire, then she mysteriously fell down the stairs. I've been watching House of Cards. I'm finally in just starting the last season, which only has 6 episodes. It was cut short, I think, because Kevin Spacey got kicked out of the show because of what were allegations. I guess he got convicted of it, or what, I don't know, about basically sexually assaulting a male minor, right? Wasn't that at a bar or a restaurant? I guess he grabbed the guy's junk, and then he got in a whole lot of trouble for that, and so he was kicked off his own show there, and And then I don't know if COVID had started or what. I think this was before COVID, so I think it just once he was gone, they just pretty much ended the show. So the last season only has 6 episodes. I haven't started that yet, but I'm up to that point, and I'm just seeing so much stuff in House of Cards where I can just picture like Trump watching that and going, you know, can I do that? I'm going to do that. You know, all the awful shit that Francis Underwood was doing. I'm pretty sure Trump thinks that he could pattern himself after that. Anyhow, I'm gonna sing every now and then, whether you like it or not, WW, because I hear from Trucker John that you're just a big fucking butthole. Speaking of WW, it says WW says it could be the end of him if they can prove just a small part of it. Can't get him out of office, but can stop giving him so much attention. The President of the United States is going to get attention. All right? So come off this thing about attention. And especially if you're doing a lot of shitty, stupid ass bullshit, you're going to get even more attention as the President of the United States. And deservedly so. He should get the attention because the things he's doing should not go unnoticed and just be allowed to go on. So you have such a weird point of view, WW. I'm just skipping on down a little bit. Mr. Spock says it's raining. They are in lockdown mode. Oh, for the chickens, I guess they're in the coop, locked down in the coop, so they're not out in the rain. Rain, rain, go away. Come back some other day. Mr. Spock says Seinfeld did a bit about people with capes. I think I saw that. Fancy says, I have a cape and it matches my dress and has gold on it. Nice. Nice. WW, when it's your show, you can spin it whatever way you want. You just can't expect us to adhere to your point of view. And I don't really. Do I expect you to adhere to my point of view? I think if we have different points of view, I'll expand on that, or we'll talk about it. And if you have a really stupid point of view, like you usually do, WW, then I'll really expand on it. Gino Maynard says Ivana's passing is just as suspicious as all the suicides associated with Epstein saga. Well, certainly Giuffre, her suicide is very, very fucking suspicious. Very suspicious. To the point that I don't think it was a suicide. John Glad's here. Always glad to see John Glad. Thanks for coming on in. I do appreciate you coming on in. Fancy says, I think the rain is coming tomorrow. So that means we'll probably get ours then on Saturday, I guess. Mr. Spock says, when is the UFC fight? I bet they mismatch it so the brown-black fighters get their asses kicked. Wow, that seems rather random. Out of nowhere, talking about UFC and black fighters getting their asses kicked. Michael Gandrew says they finished putting fiber optic tubing down our street. Yesterday they hit my gas line. They fixed it. I remember that. I remember we were talking about that. I'm glad they got your gas line fixed because you don't want a leaky gas line. That could be bad. Very, 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 very bad. Oh, so bad. Let's see. Josh Sees says it was raining all morning here. Josh Sees, I believe, upstate New York. Now the sun is peeking through. We've been sort of overcast in and out up down here where I'm at. David Dog, I've had a friend that could grow a beard like that, Mike. He died of COVID in 2020. That's sad. Sad that your friend died. Michael McAndrew says we had an inch of snow on the ground 3 days ago. Now nothing. Mad Max says Seattle is supposed to rain all day, up to a half inch. Christina's son Ghost Squad says, okay, this is ridiculous. Who schedules all these people for the same time and has you wait? I am fuming to be at an office for over 2 hours. I could have been home drinking coffee. Yeah. I know. I hate that too. You know, they give you an appointment and then you go and you check in and you get there early because they're, tell you to get there at least 15 minutes early. So I would get there sometimes a half hour early or 15 minutes early. You check in, they tell you to take a seat in the waiting room. You wait for them to call your name. An hour goes by and you're like, God damn, this is taking forever. And then an hour and a half goes by and you're like, this is fucking ridiculous. And then it's almost 2 hours and you're like, okay, I'm fucking leaving. And then they call your name and you're like, okay. All right. They finally called my name. They take you into the room. They tell you just to wait there. The doctor will be in soon. And then you sit there and wait in that fucking room for another half an hour or 45 minutes. So if you have a doctor's appointment, you might as well just, expect that you're just going to spend half your day there, if not more. Mr. Spock says ADHD does that sometimes. CJ, look at my cat. I'm not sure what it does. I'm not sure what we're talking about. Ivy Joe rains. I still have snow on the ground and flurries again tonight. Ivy Joe, where are you at? Ivy Joe, are you one of the upstate New Yorkers or New Yorkers? I forget where I can't remember where everyone's at. DPD 5844 says you didn't see my comment, did you, TJ? About I did, and I talked about it, and I said it was weird. That I said it didn't make sense that if you were complaining about Kamala not winning, or saying that you thought it was rigged because Kamala lost, that doesn't make sense that you would be MAGA because it seems like you would be happy that she lost. So why would you be complaining that it was rigged against her? I said that. That's what I was talking about. In case you didn't know, I was talking about your comment. It doesn't make sense that someone would accuse you of being MAGA if you were saying that it was rigged against Kamala. If you were saying it was rigged against Trump, then that would be something MAGA would say. But it doesn't make sense to me that if you were complaining that Kamala Harris lost because the election was rigged against her, that sounds like something someone would accuse someone on the left of saying. They wouldn't accuse a MAGA of saying that. So I did see that, and this is now the second time I've said what I just said, basically, in a nutshell. Fancy says, or wow, it's fancy, says, I sat in a room waiting for them to come in about an hour last week. Josh C says, Christina, when they see you, your blood pressure is going to be high after waiting forever, getting pissed off. Yeah, so try not to get too pissed off if you don't want a high blood pressure reading. Mad Max says, what I hate is making an appointment for something like a haircut, and you're on time for it, but they have taken walk-ins before you, and you have to wait. Whoops, doggone it, what did I do? Yeah, that sucks. Like McAndrew says, I was 5 minutes late one time. They sent me home. Now when I go early, I sit for extra time. I tried to bill them, but they just laughed at me. Taking to small claims court. See, this is for just for shits and giggles. Taking to small claims court. DPD 5844 says, I called in on a podcast to voice my opinion about the election. The host was insinuating I was MAGA because MAGA was batshit crazy about the 2020 election. Yeah, but it still doesn't make sense that if you were claiming that Kamala lost because of rigging to be MAGA, it still doesn't make sense to me. But sometimes things don't have to make sense, apparently. Christina Sun Go Squad says, yeah, this is after I waited 3 weeks for the appointment. This is the only place out of all that I've been to so far that I've waited more than 15 minutes. I'm in New York. We have lots of doctors. Fancy says, Christina, pretend to stumble. They will help you. Or vomit into a wastebasket. That will get you immediate attention. That's what happened to me. I told the story. I'll just quickly retell it. In 2015, I was out on the road. I was in Arizona, Casa Grande, Arizona, or Casa Grande, as they say. I always say Casa Grande. Anyhow, and I came down with something. I thought maybe it was the flu. I just was so sick. I parked for the night, and I was vomiting to the point where there was nothing left for me to vomit, but I was still vomiting. I was vomiting bile, stomach bile. And I thought, well, if I just go to sleep, I'll just rest. I'll feel better in the morning. It wasn't working. Going to sleep wasn't working. So I was in my truck, feeling like shit. There was a hospital a few miles away from where I had parked for the night. So I get in the truck, fire up the truck, drive back to the hospital. Across the street was a Home Depot, and you can park your truck at most Home Depots. So I parked my truck at the Home Depot, vomited again into a plastic bag. All I had was like plastic bags to vomit into. So imagine that. Then I, walked across the street to ER. I checked in at the ER, and I'm just like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I've been vomiting all day, and something's wrong. I don't know. I just feel really bad. And they're like, okay, they give you the clipboard. They go, fill this out. I fill it out, give it back to them. They, okay, we'll call you. And I'm just sitting there and sitting there and sitting there, and I'm feeling sick again. And I'm feeling like I'm going to vomit, and I'm looking around like, where's the bathroom? Because I'm thinking I'm going to have to run to the bathroom to vomit. And then all of a sudden, because I was so sick, sometimes I would just vomit. I had very little time to do anything. I didn't have time to run to the bathroom. And there was a wastebasket next to the chair where I was at. And so I just fell to my knees, stuck my head over the basket, and I just vomited in the waiting room. And everyone saw me do it. The nurses or the receptionists or whatever at the counter saw me. And they were like, all of a sudden, they're like, okay, I don't know, we need help in the waiting room. I don't know. I think they were using code words or something, code red or something. And so there I am. I'm on my knees. I'm looking around. I'm like, sorry, I couldn't help it. And within less than a minute, they had me on a gurney, and they were taking me back into a room and people were looking at me, and I ended up being there for 2 nights, I guess. I think it was 2 nights and 3 days. On the third day, I arose, and it turned out I had pancreatitis. But they were running all kinds of tests on me and doing all kinds of shit. So, that might help. That might get you seen a little quicker. You just start vomiting in the waiting room, hopefully into a wastebasket. But if you want even quicker service, just spew it out. I don't know. DPD says the host believes that all liberals are feckless and useless and are highly ineffective. He believes the power resides with progressives, which is bullshit. I don't know what show you're talking about, but I am so ignorant about these labels of liberals and progressive. For many years, I just thought liberals and progressives were pretty much the same. That progressives were maybe just a little more liberal than liberals, and so I just sort of labeled myself as a liberal / progressive. And that's why I hate liberal. I mean, I don't hate liberals. I'm sorry. I hate labels. Freudian slip, huh? No, I don't hate liberals, or else I would be a self-hating liberal. No, I hate labels because I don't know. All I really know is I know what policies I'm in favor of and ideologies and that I'm in favor of. I know what I would like to see. I would like to see Medicare for all. I would love to see healthcare reform, those type of things. I want higher wages. I want better educational and training opportunities. I want cleaner air and water. I want us to get off of fossil fuels and get into 21st technologies of green renewable energies. I'm in favor of a Green New Deal. All that kind of shit. Does that make me a liberal? Does that make me a progressive? I don't really give a fuck. I do know that I'm a registered Democrat, and I do believe that those things that I just ticked off there, that little list, are all things that are, to some degree, to some level, are a part of the overall Democratic platform. So I do get, like DPD, I do agree with you that some of these motherfuckers, they have an out. They call themselves Democrats, or I guess, and they proudly call themselves progressives, which is fine. I really have had no issue with that until fairly recently, where it's gotten kind of militant in a way, where these progressives, they act like liberals are just as bad as fucking extreme right wingers or something, which is fucking nuts. We got those motherfuckers, these progressives, these new progressives they need to realize we're on the same side. Liberals and progressives and Democrats, we are all on the same side. And just because maybe we're not as radical as some or whatever, that doesn't mean we're the enemy. Save your fucking. I'm talking about these progressives we're talking, not you, DBT, but I'm talking about the host of that show and these other people. Save your ire for the people on the other side of the aisle, because they're the assholes. They're the enemy. We're not the enemy. I'm not the enemy. I might not be progressive enough. I might be considered more middle of the road, or God forbid a centrist, which I don't think I'm a centrist at all. But they might think I'm a centrist because I'm not progressive enough. It's purity. It's the purity police. It's all that kind of bullshit. And that's why we lose elections, because of infighting and not being pure enough for you. And I'm talking about the host you're talking about. I'm not talking about you, DPD. Just to be clear. Gino Maynard says DARPA, and I think the Ukrainians, inspired the conversion of the Black Hawk into the U-Hawk drone platform. Sikorsky and Lockheed Martin. Y'all should check it out. Okay, that sounds pretty interesting. Maybe Jake Bro might have a little something to say on that. If you guys have ever watched Jake Bro, he's a bro, man. He's my bro. He's also in Vegas. Lives in Vegas area. Christina says, I hope so fancy. I mean, I was 6th on the list. 2 hours seems a lot. Josh C says, if you really want to take a dump on the floor. Now, I didn't really think of that, about taking a dump on the floor. That seems a bit, talk about militant. But anyhow, Mr. Buck says, last time I went to the doctor, I waited for an hour. Then they put me in the room for 45 minutes and put me in another room for 30 minutes. I had to go to the bathroom, so I got back out when I tried to get back in. Did you get locked out? Is that what you're trying to say? I was told to take a seat. Oh my gosh. That's frustrating. That's got to be frustrating. Bonnie Balcom's here. Hey, Bonnie, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Bonnie says more info has come out about Matt Gaetz, or Gates, what the fuck his name is, and a 17-year-old who was homeless at the time. See, that's another motherfucker, Matt Gaetz, or Gates. Gates should get some jail time. Fancy says he's a pedo too. Yeah. Talking about Gaetz. We're talking about Gaetz. Mr. Spock, that's supposed to be a joke. Well, okay. But there. Give you a little jump sting. DPD 5844 says the host is a pseudo-intellectual who believes he knows what he's talking about, but in reality, he knows nothing. I wonder who this host is. If you say Hal Sparks, you're going to upset a lot of people, probably. Mr. Spock, did you get the paddles? I did not get the paddles. No, I did not get the paddles. Mr. Spock, med beds for all. It'd be cool if those med bed things were real, like in that movie. That'd be fucking awesome. Fancy says, I can't believe how many of these Republicans are pedos. It's so many. Mad Max says pancreatitis is what my dog almost died from. So are you trying to compare me to your dog? Anyhow, it says, after $30,000 of hospital bills, she is doing well now, but I have to keep her on a strict low-fat diet, which is hard with 2 dogs. Pet insurance saved her. And fortunately, at the time, I had insurance, and I know that people like to talk United Healthcare. I had United Healthcare. Oh, you know what? No. That's right. I think I had switched to Kaiser. I was about to heap praises on United Healthcare. No, I think it was Kaiser I had at that time. So thank you, Kaiser. Because that was a pretty big bill. I was in 2 nights in the hospital, 3 days and 2 nights at the lovely. It actually was a nice hospital. My portion was very small. That I paid. Kaiser paid for almost all of it. I forget what it was. It was many thousands and thousands of dollars. Whatever it was, I don't even remember now. Anna Moore says, TJ, I had pancreatitis in my 20s. It was awful, and every year I would have to stay hospitalized for 10 days. Really? Wow. I didn't have to do that, fortunately. But a year later, I did. Then I came down. 1 year after that, I came down with what do you call it? Not shin splints. What do you call it? Not shin splints. What's the other thing that people get when they're old? And I had to rush myself to the ER for that in Denver because I didn't know what it was. I thought it was like a flu or something, and it turned out to be freaking. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's not shin splints, but it's like it kind of sounds like that. And they ended up shooting me up with a bunch of antibiotics and gave me prescriptions, and it cleared it up. But I had to rush myself after a couple of days of feeling like shit out on the road. I rented a car. I actually rented a car for this one, and rushed myself to an ER because it was getting so bad, and there was like a dark line going up my leg and making its way to my crotch area. And I was like, and it hurt like fuck. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know what this fucking is. What's going on? And they were like, yeah, you have that thing that sounds like shin splints. And they're like, if you hadn't come in, that thing was going to go all the way up to like, your fucking scrotum and shit. I was like, oh fuck. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna. I think they put me on an IV with antibiotics and give me a shot, prescribed medication, more antibiotics to take for the next couple of weeks. Cleared it right up. Anyhow, but I did not have to vomit to get seen. I think they saw me fairly quickly. I think it was, for that one, it was like 20 minutes, I think. Oh, so DBD says, TJ, the name of the show is Why I Hate Politics. The host is named Superior. He is located in Denver. I suggest you watch his show, at least one episode. Why I Hate Politics. And I'll probably be asking myself why I hate you, talking about, the host. Anywho. Bonnie Balcom says Weird Science is cool, and I like Real Genius. Nola Carnes is here. Hello, Nola. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Gina Maynard says, true, TJ, you and I disagreed on the shutdown conclusion, but we aren't enemies. For example, if there had been a commercial jet crash or major disaster during the shutdown, Democrats would be blamed. Yeah, and we do disagree. But I don't want to kind of reopen this whole thing, but I do understand the argument for keeping up the shutdown, and I do understand about how horrible it is about the ACA subsidies being lost and then forcing those premium costs to go up to the point where it's going to knock off 25 million people. I agree that is awful, and that is something to fight for. But a lot of people, I'm not saying you, but a lot of people in on the videos that you see, a lot of the hosts of these left-wing or progressive talk show hosts kept saying that we didn't get anything for it, so it was all for nothing, and we gave up our leverage. And the only reason I'm bringing this up, because I'm not sure if I said this before. Well, what the point I want to make is, I don't think that we had the leverage maybe we thought we had. Because when you're dealing with a group of people, namely the Republican Party, that is made up, I think, largely of sociopaths, then the leverage you think you have, you don't really have. You don't have any leverage, because they're all a bunch of sociopaths and they don't give a fuck about any of it. They don't give a fuck about the 25 million people losing their ACA. They don't give a fuck about the 43 million people losing their SNAP benefits. They don't give a fuck about the millions of people that are losing their jobs, or the millions of people that are working for no pay and are somehow now trying to pay their rent or their mortgage and trying to feed their families. They don't give a fucking rat's ass about any of that. And that was our leverage. Our leverage was hoping to appeal to their better selves, to appeal to their humanity and to their compassion. But they don't have any of that. These Republicans have shown that they don't have any of that. So we had no leverage. Anyhow, I don't mean, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring this all up again. I know we got a little contentious the other day with some of you guys, and I don't mean to like relitigate all that or whatever. But I did want to make that point, because I don't think I made it earlier, about, because I guess in the interim, that argument about leverage, about us losing our leverage, has come up over and over and over again on these shows. And I think the thing is, we didn't have any leverage because, like I said, they're psychopaths, they're sociopaths, and they don't give a fuck. So that's why I think it became really futile. Shingles, yes, Mad Mac. Fucking shingles. Thank you very much. Shin splints. I had some shin splints, and I had to get no. It was shingles. I came down with shingles a year after my pancreatitis, and so at the time I was still. Let's see, what year was this? Was I 60 yet? Was I still in my late 50s? Gosh, it's been about 10 years. Yeah, so I was like, I got the pancreatitis. I guess I was about 55. And then a year later, I got the shingles. I was 56, let's say, somewhere around there. And so then I started thinking, oh my God, is this what's happening? Is this happening? I'm getting old and now I'm getting all this fucking shit. But yeah, I came down with the shingles and that was pretty rough. But once they gave me those antibiotics and they gave me the prescription for like a 2-week deal of antibiotics, it cleared it up. And then they gave me a shingle shot, I think, like a vaccine or whatever. Aaron's here. Aaron says Trucker John has channel memberships. Yes, and they are starting at a low price of $1.99 a month. So become a member. So you too can say, I'm a member. And it's cool. And maybe someday I'll get around to maybe making some t-shirts, and maybe I'll do some giveaways if you're a member to members. And where you can say, it'll say, I'm a proud member of the Trucker John channel. But I haven't done that yet. But someday I think I will. We'll take the proceeds from the channel memberships and make some t-shirts. And we can do some giveaways, some fun giveaways. But we also have super chats, and we've got the goal. We're 2/5 of the way on that goal right now. But I am going to end the show pretty soon. And the things that are absolutely free, liking, subscribing, and sharing, and that's probably the best and most effective way. Share the show, subscribe. I really would like to get to 100,000. I really, if I'm going to be truly honest with you, I would love to get to 100,000. And that might seem ridiculous since I'm only at 4,188. It might seem like a pipe dream, but you got to start somewhere. And we started off doing this show with really, I think, just a handful of subscribers, just less than 100. And now we're at 4,188. So let's keep it going. Let's keep the show going and growing and get those subscriptions in and get and grow that way. Aaron says John also has PayPal. Oh yeah, so we got the PayPal, we got the Buy Me a Coffee. You can help donate to the show that way too. So thank you, Aaron, for putting those links up. I guess Luck Dragon was here. I skipped down. I didn't say hi to Luck Dragon. So Luck Dragon is here. Luck Dragon says, I have to commend everybody sitting behind Donald Trump in that picture because he farted. Oh, I don't think it was just farting, Luck Dragon. I think he was shitting. If you see in my little meme there, as the kids call it, down in the right-hand corner is a little poopy. It was a little poopy. I think he was pooping in his diapers. I think it was more than just farts. That's why the guy fainted, because it was way more than just a fart. Yeah, and he was napping. So anyhow, hello, Luck Dragon. Good to see you, by the way. Let me skip on down. Ivy Joe Rain says, my arms hurt from needles in my arms, but yes, Damon, I am always safe. I have to being alone up here. Be safe, everybody. Wow, it's Fancy's been drinking high protein shakes. They are yummy. Yummy, yummy for my tummy. Yummy, 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 yummy. For my little bitty old little tummy. I'm just skipping on down, guys. We're about ready to end the old show. DBD 5049 says, TJ or anyone else in the chat, do you watch Mary Trump on? I catch her every now and then. She's good, but I guess there's just other stuff on, and so I don't really watch her all that much. But she's really good. She's really good. It says, and yes, she is related. Yeah, she's Trump's niece. She's related to the orange pedophile. Unfortunately, he's her uncle, and she is a staunch Democrat. Yeah. Yep, she's pretty good. She is good. I like her. MJ Daniels says only thing Democrats have ever had is the midterm. Really? And if they do not get back a full majority, we are, well, truly fucked. Because then Project 2025 will have nothing to stop it, and we may see the 25th. Oh, you talking about like they would remove Trump, put Vance in or something? But yeah, we need to. We need to really come out, have the big blue wave, and for 2028, get back. I think we can get back the House and the Senate, and we need to have those numbers and keep everything in check. And then in 2028, we got to do it again. We got to keep the House, keep the Senate, and get the White House. And then we got to do that for the next 50 years. I really think we need 50 years of just democratic governing, to set things straight. Look, Dragon said a lot of people will die before the midterms, but at least it won't be as bad as Donald Trump's first term, COVID-19. I don't know. We're not even a year into it, so I keep waiting for the other foot to drop. Is that it? Foot to drop. MJ Daniels says President Couch Sniffer would be even worse than Orange Turd. We have now. DPD 5840. Mark your calendars for National Blackout Day, November 25th through December 2nd, 2025. No one purchase anything and no work. We shut this shit down. I'm all for it. Although I will probably be traveling to my daughter's house for Thanksgiving at some point. So anyhow, guys, I think that's about it for today. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you. I want to thank you very much. Thank you guys very, very much. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. That would be great. Can we at least get to 5,000 subscribers? At least. That would be pretty great today. Let's see. I'm just gonna pop in real quick. I know Trucker John wants to end the show, and I wasn't able to come in very much and give you guys some shit. You know how it is. I like to give people shit, but hey, what can I say? If the show's over, the show's over. I'm really thinking about I should do my own show because Trucker John is giving me less and less airtime, it seems, and that's not what he promised me. He promised me that I would be in a lot more. And I'm barely in. I'm at the very end here, just saying goodbye, and that's not fair, Trucker John. It's not right. They really just wanted to see me more than anything. But anyhow, thanks guys for being here. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, Trucker John will have me on again tomorrow. I'll see you guys then. Yeah, thanks for being here, guys. I just want to say thanks. For being here. I do appreciate you guys. And let's stay strong. Let's stay together. Let's stay together. And 2026. Let's have a big blue wave. Before you know it, it's going to be primary time, and we're going to be right back in it. So let's try to do the best we can. In the meantime, keep it together, keep it together, keep it together, keep it together, keep it together. Let's just keep it together. That's all I got today. All right, guys. Coming to the part of the show where I lay down some wisdom. Where I'm going to lay down a little wisdom. Little Trucker John wisdom. Some people like to write these down because it's so wisdomy. So much wisdom. Wisdom like you've never seen before. Write this down. Words of wisdom. All right, guys, you ready? Ready to write this down? Okay, here we go. So for today's words of wisdom,
well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John Livestream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John Livestream. Yeah, the Trucker John Livestream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John Livestream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs. Shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. My apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love, it's all about the thrills. It's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows, so go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. So damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot, you're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.
Show's over. I'm out of here, folks. Bye. See you later. Yes! Yes! Ooh, the Dodgers won! The Dodgers won! Yes! Yes! Woo-hoo-hoo! Dodgers won the World Series! Woo! Yeah! Yeah! Yeah, Clayton, yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh my God! That was, oh my God, that was the most amazing World Series ever. Dodgers!